Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 3-game NBA preseason slate on Saturday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos as well as live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. Keep an eye on my YouTube channel. I'll have a video up, final look video breaking down the Week 5 main slate, and then Sunday Night Football video will probably be up tomorrow as well. If you guys are unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload on Apple Podcasts. Link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you have an extra minute or two, if you could leave a 5-star rating and review, that would really help me out. Every rating review boosts me up in those Apple Podcast rankings. And if you're interested in signing up for premium content, offer that on Patreon.com. We have an NBA package where we're covering every single preseason slate. NFL package, we go over the main and showdown slates. Esports package, that includes Call of Duty and CSGO, and then gold combination of everything. So let me just go over a couple of winners today. It was a really, really good day for us. So I want to congrats my boy Tori, $2,000, took down the showdown slate. This is a $10 entry, $2,000 now. Dwight Howard was the key here. Only 3% owned. Was talking about this for a good probably 10, 15 minutes or so. How people thought he was out. Like, no, he's not. He's in. And yeah, Dwight 3% was massive. So big congrats to Tori. And then a couple other winners to go over. Big night, takedown. Love to see it. And then we also finished first and ninth in the $222 tournament. So Lemon Juice, big shout out, took down the $222 tournament. $5,000. His lineup was Smart, Strauss, Noor, Sabonis, Yurt 7, Steph Curry, Doncic, and S-Man. What I was hammering home on Patreon was load up on the Heat. So we'll get to that when we go over my lineup. We even had some big winners on FanDuel, $375, $500. Had a lot more screenshots in the Discord, but yeah, congrats to everyone on the big nights. And I do want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Prize Picks. So if you guys are not familiar with Prize Picks, NBA, there's two different ways you can play. The first way is fantasy points. So there's 12 players posted for tomorrow. You either take the over or the under. Now, one play I like here, as it stands right now, is the over on Desmond Bane. He's at 24.5. Basically, all the main guys are resting for Memphis. So Bane should get a lot of work here. So I like going over there. And then you can also go to single stat, where you can take over on straight up points. They'll have rebounds and assists as well. A couple players that are not playing, like Randall's out and John Morant is out. Again, you can't take the under, though. If they don't play, it's just a DNP. But yeah, if you guys want to sign up, or you guys want to try it out, you can sign up using my code DKDFS. It's DKDFS, all one word. Again, I'll have a link down below. It's a 100% match up to $100. So if you deposit $100 using my code, you'll basically get a free $100 to play with on the site. Okay, so let's jump into the video, guys. Before we talk about players and the prices, let's look back at my lineup here from Friday slate. So I'm losing my mind. So Friday, got in the cash and low stakes. Pretty solid night. So let's go over my lineup. Smart, Stewart, Struss, Sabonis here at 7, Curry, Edwards, and Jokic. So again, what I was hammering home here was load up on Miami. I was like 3 to 5 guys at most from Miami, because they were going to run an 8-man rotation, and we knew Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson were going to be limited, even though Hero wasn't really limited. You know, Yurt 7 got in foul trouble, so Hero did have to play more. Don't be going out and giving hate to the Miami beat writer. He's just reporting what the coaches say. So yes, it was a little bit tilting that Hero and Duncan played more than we thought, but don't go spreading hate. Like, let's not do that. Beat writers are, we want to keep them as friends. But yeah, so that was a little bit tilting. But yeah, I loaded up Miami. I had 4 Miami guys. No, I originally had what's his name? I can't even think right now. It's been such a long day. The backup big for Miami. I don't know why it's Potter. Mika Potter. So I originally had Potter in here for Stewart, and then I had Anthony Davis, but I had to pivot. Anthony Davis got ruled out, so like scrambling. I had to go to Anthony Edwards, which didn't really work out. Now the reason I did this was I didn't end up playing Jordan Nwora, which was a mistake. I admit when I get unlucky on here all the time or make mistakes, that was definitely a mistake. Me not playing Jordan Nwora. That was okay. So From 6 p.m. to like 7:30 Central was one of the more stressful hour and a half of my life. That was insane. It was like the guy pulling out his hair gif. That was literally me because there was so much news. So we got the Bucks news that the starting lineup and that Lopez, Pat Connaughton, and Georgia weren't ruled out, but like we had a good idea they weren't going to play. So like I'm going to, and we got that like 15 minutes before. So I'm trying to calculate. On DraftKings, how many players they're going to have because they had a few guys that were not on the roster on DraftKings. So I'm like doing some math. Then we get the news right after lock that Hero and Duncan are going to be limited. So I'm trying to update. I have like 100 people ask me questions in Discord. Absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm doing math. Like I'm like, all right, how many people are going to be active for the Bucks, and just trying to answer as many questions as I can. Then I realized like a couple minutes left. I was like, oh shoot, I gotta switch my lineup around. So again, I didn't have enough time to get to Nowara, which was definitely a mistake. But again, I was really still key on hammering home on loading up on Miami. So yeah, that was a super stressful like hour and a half for myself. Again, that pulling out the hair gif, that was actually me. So the rest of my lineups, the bonus was solid, nothing crazy if they're going fancy points. You're at 7. He got in massive foul trouble. He played 23 minutes and had 43 fancy points. I'm telling you guys, this guy is a monster. If he doesn't get in foul trouble, he probably goes for 60 tonight. Steph Curry. Could have used that for me last slate, but I'll take it. 30 real-life points, 5 steals, a massive game from Steph. Again, Edwards was the letdown, and then Jokic was really solid as well. So that was it for the look back for myself. Again, it was super stressful, but love to see the big winners from everyone. Again, we took down the $222 tournament. We took down the Showdown. We had multiple top 50 in the big tournament. So again, congrats to everyone, all the big winners, and let's see if we can keep it going for this 3-game slate. Oh, again, if you guys do enjoy all this content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's try to aim for 100 likes on this video. Okay, so let's start off with Toronto. Once again, main guys to Siakam, Boucher, Birch, and Aaron Baines. Let's take a look at how the minutes were distributed last game. So OG Anunoby, again, I swear, I know he didn't, but like every time I was checking that last slate, I swear he had a steal. I think he only ended up with 4 or 5 steals, but man, I wouldn't have been surprised if he had 20 steals that game. So he had a big game, 22, 4 and 4, like 4 or 5 steals. Scotty Barnes got in foul trouble, and that was definitely tilting. He lost some minutes. Precious was solid, and they're thin on big, so he's probably going to play 25-ish minutes, almost a double-double. Van Fleet played almost 30 minutes. That's good to see. Goran played 22 minutes, wasn't great. And then you had Justin Champagne, who played solid off the bench. Gary Trent got 20-plus minutes, and then that was really it for big minutes for the Raptors. So assuming we get similar minutes, I think we can definitely have the interest in the main guys. So like Barnes, Van Fleet, OG. As far as Barnes versus OG go, that one's going to come down to who I think is going to be more popular. So whoever I think is going to be more popular will probably go the other way. So I think they're going to be similar if they're going to play similar minutes. Barnes might be slightly better at stuff in the stat sheet, but I think both have similar upside. And then, Fred VanVleet playing almost 30 minutes. Like, if he's going to play close to 30 minutes again, I like him a good amount there at 6.4K. I think Precious is very safe value, assuming he starts, and I don't see why he wouldn't. 25-ish minutes, I think, is a fair guess for him. So I like Precious again for value. Dragic at 4-7, not completely out of play, but he's a guy I could see getting his minutes limited. Again, he only played 22 minutes, so not as excited about Dragic. He would be an ownership play. I hate playing Gary Trent Jr., but I do think he's viable. It's just he's so scoring dependent. He has such a low floor. The ceiling is there, but again, he has to hit his shots. And then, Champagne, he's been getting some backup run at the 5. He's a good offensive rebounder, decent point per guy, only 4.5K. And they have him listed as small forward, even though he plays like power forward center. So I think he is a decent contrarian value play. And that's probably it for me for Toronto. So moving on to Boston. Big news here is Jaylen Brown is out. So pretty significant, definitely usage bump to a guy like Jason Tatum. Take a look at the minutes last game. We saw some of the starters play mid-20s. Tatum played 25. Jaylen Brown played 26. Smart played 24. You had Jay Rich played 24 off the bench. So I think Tatum is one of the safest bet-ups on the board, assuming we get similar minutes of about 25. Again, no Jaylen Brown, definitely gets a usage bump to him. So, really do like Jason Tatum there at the top. And then Robert Williams, I like kind of buy low here. He shot 0 of 7. 0 of 7, which is insane for a big. He had 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks in 20 minutes. So one of his worst performances for sure. But we know, Robert Williams, over the last couple of years, when this guy is given minutes, he is really good fantasy point per minute guy. So I'm just kind of throwing that last game out the window. If people are going to avoid him because of that, I think that's a mistake. So I do like Robert Williams. I do think he bounces back. If we get close to 20 minutes again, I think he's a really solid value. Don't mind Horford. He came off the bench and he played 18 minutes. We know he's also a pretty solid point per minute guy. So both centers there for Boston I think are viable. Cantor, another good point per minute guy, but he didn't play as much. He was the 3rd center and only played 10 minutes. So I think I'd prioritize Robert Williams and Horford first. So it's Tatum in the centers, and then below that, it's going to be hard for me to trust anyone, but there's definitely some viable plays. Like Marcus Smart gets a usage bump there without Jaylen Brown. Schroeder's a guy that we know can score. Peyton Pritchard as well. So there's a few other options here, but no one that I feel like amazing about with Brown out. It's going to be interesting to see who they end up starting. Maybe they move a guy like Naismith in the starting lineup or Langford. We'll see. But yeah, definitely some interesting plays here for Boston. Moving on to New York. So New York, big news here is there's no Julius Randle, obviously still no Mitchell Robinson. So that's big, right? The Knicks historically run big minutes in the preseason, and now they're missing their highest usage guy here in Julius Randle. So let's take a look at the minutes last game. We got Randle played 30, Barrett 25, you had Taj played 21, played well. Fournier played 27, Kemba only 21, Sims played 25 minutes, but we do have Noel back, so that's going to be a 3-headed monster now at center with Taj, Sims, and Noel. Quickly and Rose played 21 minutes off the bench each. They're both high usage guys, definitely viable. Toppin only played 14 minutes, but I would think he starts. So let's now take a look at players and the prices. Barrett's at 7.3. I don't love the price. However, with Randle out, he definitely gets a usage bump. So firmly in play, RJ Barrett. Kemba did only play 21 minutes. A little bit concerning. So if we're only going to get low 20s minutes, I don't like Kemba as much. Fournier played 27. Now, Fournier's a little bit reliant on the scoring, but he's relatively cheap at 5.9K. And again, Randle being out is pretty big usage bump to everyone else in that starting lineup. And then, Noel. I don't know if I go to the centers in Noel, Taj, and Jericho Sims. I think all 3 play. Obi Toppin's an interesting player at 5.3. I think he gets the biggest minutes bump. I would assume he starts. If he does, I think he's good value. And then still some interest in those guards on the bench, right? D Rose, Quickly. If they're going to get low 20s minutes, I'm fine with them. High usage guys we know in Quickly and Rose, so both those two I think are viable options as well. All right, let's move on to Washington. So minutes last game, we had some guys low 20s, a couple guys play mid 20s, in Kuzma and Kispert. Again, Gafford, he's just gonna be a headache because I love Gafford, but he's just every single game he's in foul trouble. Brad Beal played 21. Dinwiddie played 21. Again, Gafford, Harrell kind of split the 7 minutes, played both around 20. Kuzma played 23 and Kispert 25. So with Beal and Dinwiddie at the top at 8.7 and 6.3 respectively, if we're going to get 20 to 25 minutes, I think both are good spend-ups. Point per dollar, maybe a lean to Dinwiddie, but I don't think salary is going to be a big factor here with some teams resting players. So like both the main guards there for Washington, keep an eye on news. Again, Gafford, if you're willing to deal with the headache, there's probably a 75% chance he gets in foul trouble. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he can have a really good game. A great fantasy point per minute guy. Harrell as well. These are 2 guys who are going to man the center position. Both probably get low 20s minutes. So like both the centers there for the Wizards. Kuzma not out of play, but I just don't necessarily trust it. He does have upside, but he does have a somewhat low floor too. KCP looks like he's going to be back, so I would assume he starts instead of Kispert. And there's not much else I really trust here for Washington. So let's move on to this final game. Final game is the one where it's like, all right, the Atlanta Hawks have 80 players that are questionable. So it's going to be hard to break down. Last game, okay, you have, you can Google top 7 great mysteries in the world, and Gorgie Jang playing 31 minutes last preseason game is on that list. Gorgie Jang played 31 minutes in a game where the Atlanta Hawks said they wanted to give their young guys run. And it's not like there was a ton of injuries at the center position. They still had 2 other centers in Johnny Hamilton and Jahlil Okafor. So that is the biggest mystery to me of how Gorgie Jang plays 31 minutes. He played 14 the previous game. So I still don't understand that at all. You did have some starters come back in the fourth quarter. Collins played 25, Hunter 26, Herder 26. Some of the younger guys played decent minutes. Jalen Johnson played 24 minutes. He shot like 1 of 30 from the field, just absolutely awful. But he's still a guy that has some upside. I don't expect him to shoot that bad again. So, yeah, it's again, every single player questionable. Trae Young, doubtful. Bogdanovich, rest of the last game, we'll see. You have Herder questionable, Hunter questionable. I think DeLon Wright's doubtful. So, like, there's so many injuries here. It's going to be hard to break down at the moment. Let's just say everyone that is questionable is out. I like John Collins a good amount. If Gorgie James is going to play 30-plus minutes again, sure. I don't necessarily trust it, though. Again, they have Hamilton, they have Okafor. So, I just don't understand why he got so many minutes last game. But, yeah, at point guard, like, I don't think they need to give Lou Williams a ton of minutes. I don't think he even played last game, right? He didn't. So, like, maybe if DeLon Wright's out and they have Bogdanovich out, then maybe we can go to, where is he? Sharif Cooper, who was really solid in the Summer League. And he's great at stuff in the stat sheet. So would have a little bit of interest there. Again, Jalen Johnson had an awful shooting game, but still played some big minutes. So it's really hard to say right now. So Atlanta's just going to be a wait to see who's available, wait to see who they end up starting. Hopefully we'll get some clarity on minutes too. Again, hard to say at the moment. And finally, Memphis. So Memphis is a team, they're going to be really shorthanded. Going over minutes, I don't think it really matters because they're resting a lot of guys. So some of the main guys push for 20 minutes. Steven Adams just dominated. But yeah, he is out. So we have Ja out, Adams out, Triple J out, Brooks out, McDermott out, Killy out, Anderson out, Sam Merrill out. So they're thin. Marc Gasol is not on this roster. You should not play him. You have rookie Zaire Williams, which I think is fine at 5.3K. Definitely in play. Would assume he starts and probably plays big minutes. And you have the two guards, D'Anthony Melton and Desmond Bane. I think get big minutes. I really like both of them for value. Melton is a good point per minute guy, and now they're missing like all their high usage guys. So I like Melton a good amount. Again, Bane, I would assume, gets a ton of minutes here. So the two guards here for Memphis look really, really solid. And then the bigs, Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman, I think they get a ton of run here too. Tillman and Clark, both good fantasy point per minute guys too. So there's a lot to like here for Memphis. Tyus Jones, another guy that's a solid, fantasy producer when given minutes, right? In 19 minutes, he went for 11, 4, and 2. So there's a lot to like here for Memphis. Bane, Melton, Clark, Tillman, Tyus Jones, even the rookie Zaire Williams. I think those would be the guys that are the most interested in. Going to be curious to see what they do with the starting lineup, but yeah, they might only have like 9, 10 healthy bodies. So Memphis definitely a team that I like. Again, we'll see what they end up doing with the starting lineup. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the video. So if you have been enjoying the content, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks again for all your support, guys, and I will see you in the next video.